Well, hello indie people, and today's video is all about how to integrate autistic people into the workplace. Myself and Tom from Aspergers Growth, we're going to cover 5 tips on this topic on how best to integrate autistic people into the workplace, into businesses. But before we get into the tips, I'm just going to let Tom introduce himself, say hi. So Tom, take it away.
Thank you very much for having me on, Andy, and all you people out there, you IndieAndy subscribers. My name is Thomas Henley from the Aspergers Growth channel, and today we're going to do a little bit of a collaboration video, so exciting stuff. Hopefully these points will give you, the business owners or anybody else out there watching, some ideas of how you can better integrate autistic people into your business.
That's awesome, Tom. It's great to have you here as well. Also, we did make a video over on Tom's channel, which will be linked down below and at the end screen of this video. So Tom, what's your first point, your first tip about how to integrate autistic people into businesses?
Numero 1. Develop a kind, caring, and friendly attitude towards autistic people, especially in the first 2 weeks. Autistic people are beings of routine. We like to know what we're doing, what we have to do, and sometimes when we go into a new job or start working for a new business and are in a new place with different people, the first 2 weeks can be quite difficult for us because we don't know where we stand. By being overly positive, caring and friendly, you set up yourself as a person that they can go to in times of stress or difficulties. If you develop this relationship fairly early on, it means that you'll be able to understand what you have to do. They will come to you directly to tell you about any queries or problems that they have about the work or about the social environment, and you can get it cleared up as quickly as possible. Andy, take it away on the second point.
Thanks, Tom. That's a really good point there. But also, just initially when you get into the world of work, if it's an area that you're not particularly sure on, or it's a new experience for autistic people, especially if they're new to the world of work, it can be hard for them to get into the flow of it. I know for me, when I change jobs, it's hard for me to initially get the flow of the business, how the business works. For my second point when it comes to integrating autistic people into businesses is really getting them in a position where they know all aspects of the business and getting them to understand the nooks and crannies of the business as a whole. Because for me personally, I perform a lot better when I know what other people in the business actually do. I get an understanding of the business structure, what people's job roles are, so I can do my job efficiently. Once an autistic person has figured out the type of environment that they're going to be working in and they have an idea of what they're going to be doing day to day, we can come up with a strategy of how to deal with things that might not necessarily agree with us. So really, to integrate an autistic person into the workplace, it's just about fine-tuning how the environment works for them and also allowing them to understand the whole business, to give them a better understanding of how every department and what people's job roles are, in order to make them, the autistic person in question in the workplace, be more efficient and be a valuable asset to your business. So that's my second point. And actually, if you want to add to the conversation about how to integrate autistic people into businesses, leave a comment down below, or anything about employment, actually, your experiences, useful tips, anything like that. It'd be great to hear from you. Now, Tom, take it away with the third point.
Number 3. If your company has a policy about not wearing headphones and earphones in the workplace, that's usually a great idea with a lot of people at work because they can sort of get themselves into a little bubble and try and avoid work or listen to YouTube videos, which is not really a great thing. But when it comes to autistic people, we tend to have a different sensory profile than your average person, meaning that we can be very hypersensitive, so very sensitive to things, or hyposensitive to things, so meaning that we're very dulled in those types of things. A lot of autistic people struggle with bright lights, sound, very loud sounds or background noise, and when we have all that background noise, if, let's say in an office, it can drive us to feeling very stressed because our brain really can't filter out this background noise. It all feels like everything's on the same level. We get distracted by things, just like a little creak in the corner or someone opening the door in the office, and that could completely throw us off our work. Therefore, if you do have an autistic person in the workplace, why not consider allowing them to wear headphones? Now, you don't need to let them watch YouTube videos or let them listen to music, but a lot of headphones these days come with this thing called active noise cancelling, meaning that it will get rid of all the constant background noises that would generally drive an autistic person up the wall, and it allows them to also hear people who are talking to them. So if they come up to you and talk, then the technology will filter out the background noise and the speech, and it will let them hear you, which is a very good thing. Maybe you can make a deal out of, not watching YouTube videos and not listening to music, because obviously that wouldn't be very productive for a workplace. But allowing them to have these headphones just for the active noise cancellation can do wonders, and you'll find that they'll work a lot better with those headphones.
Yeah, Tom, that's a really great point. I've been in an open plan office before. It's really disorientating. But to be fair, one of the things that I find difficult when it comes to getting into a business is the social side of it. Social situations, social events, things like that. For me personally, as an autistic person, and for many other autistic people out there, it can be a real challenge. And some of the reasons why this could be difficult for autistic people, the social side of things, could be the way that you're talking to the autistic person. So it could be the tone of your voice or your facial expressions or your body language. So for myself and other people on the spectrum, we do tend to benefit more when people who are instructing us or talking to us are truthful, honest and clear with what they are saying. And also, I greatly appreciate it when people are very clear with their instructions in the way that they speak to me personally. So I can imagine it could really help other autistic employees as well. So Tom, do you want to take it away with the next point?
Numero 5. A lot of the time, there are a lot of barriers that stop people on the autism spectrum getting into workplaces. We generally don't have a very good time in any sort of social environments that we don't understand, which is basically all of them, apart from when autistic people gather together in groups. That's very chill. And sometimes people knowing about a diagnosis can be fairly helpful. The difficulty with people who have Aspergers or high functioning autism is that people don't really realise that they have any sort of condition. It's very difficult for people on the autism spectrum, especially when they're high functioning, to get along in social environments and, get the help that we need. A lot of people have sort of a fleeting idea of how to help someone who has epilepsy. If someone has an epileptic seizure, most people know how to respond to this and no one gets overly stressed about it. But when it comes to autistic people having meltdowns, which is when everything becomes too overwhelming for us and our brains just don't function at all, we can't speak, we get very anxious, it's very sort of panicky, like a panic attack. People have no idea what to do. For all they know, some 6'3" man with a beard is coming over and just acting all weird and skittish. And for a lot of people, they've got no idea what to do. They don't know what to do to help, what to do to calm them down. It's very much something that not many people understand, and that is a problem. Therefore, sometimes people understanding or knowing about a diagnosis can be very helpful, but on the flip side, not every single autistic person wants everybody to know about it. There's not really much of an incentive for people on the autistic spectrum to tell their employees, out of fears of, possibly not receiving an interview just because they're on the autistic spectrum, which is pretty much absurd because they are amazing workers. There's a lot of stuff out there that explains what autism is from many different sort of standpoints, from a psychological standpoint, from a neurological standpoint, from personal experiences, and to teaching and parenting. There is a lot of stuff out there. And although it's sometimes hard to get into it, and I know everybody's got having a busy day, sometimes just putting your workforce through just a little refresher course on how autistic people work and how to help them can be a very important thing to do.
That's awesome, Tom. Thank you so much. And guys, if you want to head on over to Tom's channel, click the icon that's up there. It's linked down below as well, so go and check it out. Highly recommend it. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button for me, and if you want to subscribe to see more, click the subscribe button. Stay you, stay indie. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you next time.